everybody.
Whoa.
Welcome back to the Green Light.
Green Light. It's us, your favorite podcast hosts.
Yay.
Jackson here.
And Lauren.
Also here.
Yes.
And what do we do? what a start to this show.
Wow.
What do we do here, Lauren, on the Green Light?
We read unproduced plays and screenplays and interview the awesome writers who wrote them.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And in this Christmas season, we
have a lot of comedies.
We do have a lot of comedies, actually.
Yes.
And this one continues our trend of comedies. Or did this start our trend of comedies?
starts our trend of comedies, but our next two scripts, we've already picked them out and reached out to writers and stuff. This one and our next two are going to be comedies. We actually are going to do something different for the episode releasing on Christmas Day, but that third comedy will be releasing on New Year's Day.
Yes, correct. So some nice light fare around your holiday season. Not necessarily holiday themed, but just nice and funny. However, what we're going to get to in a second, our detours are going to be holiday themed. Or
Most
one
of them.
So, some of them.
Technically two of them.
In fact, this episode may have started off with some holiday themed music. We'll see if future me decides to do that. We'll see. But yeah, so that is us. Let's do a few housekeeping things.
Housekeeping. Yes. Let's see.
We have social medias, so follow us on those, please.
First, follow us at TGL_pod on Instagram and Twitter, at Greenlightpod on Facebook. You can like us there.
Yes.
We have another podcast, Who Is That? The Masked Singer podcast. We're having a great time with that.
We
will be keeping up with it when The Masked Singer premieres on December 27th.
The Masked Dancer.
Oh, sorry, The Masked Dancer. I said The Masked Singer. Yeah, The Masked Dancer.
Yeah, so The Masked Singer is winding down, actually. We only have a couple more episodes left.
Yeah, well, we only have one more real episode left because we have a holiday sing-along episode and then the finals, and that's it.
Yeah. But this holiday sing-along episode, we're actually taking questions. We're doing a fan mailbag of sorts.
Yeah.
Reaching into our what is Santa's... Just his bag?
His bag? Santa's bag of toys. I don't know.
Santa's toy bag, but it's Who Is That? We'll wear masks and do it. I don't know. It'll be fun. But yes, so if you have any questions about The Masked Singer, or if you have any questions about us and you want to check out that other podcast, do it. Ask a question and we'll probably answer it for you. We've actually gotten a lot more questions than I thought we would.
Yeah, well, and
So
actually this
make
is a
your
nice
question
transition.
good.
So,
is it?
If we have overflow questions, we are planning on doing our very first Who Is That Patreon overflow ramble episode.
Oh, true.
And that'll be on the $1 level with the rest of those questions. We'll try to get one from every single person who submitted on the actual show, but some people submitted more than one, so those might end up in the overflow.
Yep, true.
But yeah, if you have not subscribed to our Patreon, which if you're listening to this, you probably haven't, check that out. It is patreon.com/thegreenlight. There's a lot of content at the $1 level, and if you are already a patron, you will get any of that Who Is That content as well.
Yes, that's correct. And we're also, this month, we're actually doing our next road trip episode.
Yes, we are. You might remember from a while back, Jeshurun Young was one of our playwrights. He submitted, what was the play that we did of his?
His, it was the My Life as a Sitcom.
That's right. He did My Life as a Sitcom, but he has this, epic poem called The Tales of Grindleshire that we will be reading for our road trip episode, and we are very excited about it.
Yep, so it'll be something a little different, not exactly a traditional script per se.
A little more like an audiobook in a way.
Yeah, this is Lauren and I's auditions for Audible. Audible, if you're listening, any rep from Audible, please, first off, partner with us on the Green Light. We'll give you an ad or two, and then also
we'll give you
hire
as many
us
ads as you want. What do you mean?
Well, for money in exchange, not just for free. However, kind of a free ad. You get one free Audible, no more after that. But anyways, yes. So that's what our road trip is going to be, and we're also going to have at the $5 level. We are going to have
a green lit episode.
Yes,
Christmas themed. We are going to be doing The Year Without a Santa Claus because Jackson's never seen it, and I'm so excited. I love that movie.
I have not seen it.
TV special, I
and
think.
Lauren has scolded me many a time for not seeing it.
It is, aside from Jingle All the Way, my favorite Christmas movie.
Yes. Well, Jingle All the Way occupies the live action.
True. This
portion
is
of
the
your favorite
stop
Christmas
motion
movie.
Animation Christmas movie.
There you go. Sounds good. Very specific, but for Christmas, that's kind of a wide category. Yeah. So, without further ado, let's talk a little Christmas and a little not Christmas in our Detours of the Week.
So, should we start with Christmas or not Christmas?
I'd say not Christmas and end with Christmas.
All right. In that case,
well, can I explain what detours are?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. So this is a segment where we talked about something we've consumed in the past week. Movie, TV show, sometimes book, play, or 10-year-old video game. But we're sticking with a TV show that Lauren is going to talk about. And then two movies, a series of movies that Lauren and I are both going to tackle. So
a double feature.
A double feature. That's good. My mind is just off. It's like, it's just off.
He took a nap earlier.
Yeah, but that was a while ago. I feel like it's just me.
Know. Anyway,
Whatever.
well, I'll give you some time to recover and talk a little bit about Westworld.
Yeah.
So, I have done this as a detour before when I'd only seen season 1. I have now seen all 3 of the seasons that are currently released. That is not the end of the series. It has officially been renewed for a 4th season that will be coming out in 2021 if they're able to shoot it all by then. We'll see. But yeah, so I've now seen all 3 seasons. So Westworld, if you don't know, is basically about this futuristic park that is styled like the Wild Wild West, not the Will Smith movie.
Wild West.
West. And it is filled with all of these Wild West kind of characters that are these robots called hosts. They are very, very human-like. They do have feelings and reactions, but the difference is every time someone leaves the park, their memories are wiped. So all of these, it costs a lot of money to go there. So all these very wealthy people will come to the park and basically live out their, a lot of them will live out kind of their more violent urges because it's legal there because they're doing it to robots. So, some people will like sexually abuse the host. Some people will literally murder them, stuff like that. Not everyone who goes there, of course, but yeah, a lot of them. So, in season 1, it's basically about them becoming sentient, realizing the situation they're in, and starting the rebellion. Ooh. Season 2 is basically about them kind of trying to break free of the park, trying to get out into the real world, sort of seeing that rebellion play out. And then season 3 is about our main character, Dolores Abernathy, played by Evan Rachel Wood, trying to basically take out her revenge on the human race, overthrow the human race in a way, in the real world, no longer in Westworld. So season 1 is amazing. Season 1 of this show is incredible. I have to admit season 2 was not quite as good, but I do still think it's worth it to watch season 2 because season 3 is pretty good as well. Seasons 1 and 3 are very, very different because obviously season 1, while it is in a futuristic world, you're in this Wild West park. So it feels very old-timey most of the time. It's a very good juxtaposition from this old-timiness to, they're all robots that are very, very human-like.
Juxtaposition.
And you kind of go between the technical side of the park and then the actual park itself. Yeah. And season 3 is all out in the real world. For the most part, there are a couple little deviations into some of the other parks besides Westworld that are kind of owned by the same company, Delos. But season 3 is mostly in the real world. And HBO does this great thing. It is by HBO, by the way. HBO does this great thing in a lot of their shows where at the end of the episode, you'll get to see an inside peek into how they made that episode. And that's really fun to watch with Westworld because, again, it is so futuristic. So they actually shot a lot of season 3 in Singapore because a lot of the architecture is so futuristic to begin with there. But they did have to do a little bit of CGI, and design some futuristic cars and vehicles, stuff like that, to drive around. So they did have to sort of make some adjustments to the real world that is Singapore. A lot of it is also set in futuristic LA. Oh. So a lot of the actual street scenes are in LA. But, like, for example, there's one part where it's on a street in LA and a car is basically bombed and flips over on fire. And since they weren't able to do that in the middle of the actual LA street, they basically just shot a car driving down the street in LA, that futuristic car. And then they went to a parking lot and blew up a Jeep. And then they just kind of painted that all in to
Oh, wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah. So that, a lot of the effects, even though, again, there is CGI, it is futuristic, a lot of the effects are actually practical.
Sure.
So, yeah, it's a very, very cool show. I think that I did talk about this the last time I did this as a detour, but it really does kind of make you think about what AI rights could look like in the future. If Because even though they are robots, if they do get to a point where they actually are sentient and have feelings and memories and all kinds of stuff like that, it doesn't get to a point where it does matter how you treat them,
For sure.
where that would be something that could bite you in the butt if they decide to rebel. Stuff like that.
Sure.
But yeah, it's very cool. And it also just talks about, a lot of season 3 talks about, like, it's sort of almost a worst case scenario of what our age of algorithms and data collection could lead to, because there is a very large machine called Rehoboam, who I believe is named after like a biblical king, or like an Israelite king. Okay. But
are there any spoilers here?
I mean, not really. It's pretty much right at the beginning of season 3, and it's not a factor at all in seasons 1 and 2.
Okay, cool. Then proceed.
Yeah.
Godspeed.
But yeah, Rehoboam has basically collected all the data on everyone in the whole world, and it spends all of its energy running algorithms to predict how every single person's life will go, and every single person has to fit that place in the puzzle, even if they don't know that all of this has been decided for them. So season 3 kind of centers around a character who has been sort of used and abused by that system. He's not able to get the jobs he wants because they'll look at the data from Rehoboam and be like, oh, well, you're not projected to be good at this, or like you're not projected to be able to be with this company. Some people, it'll even say like this person's projected to commit suicide in 10 years. So then one wants to take a chance on them.
That's intense.
Which causes them to then commit suicide.
Sure.
So it's kind of a really vicious cycle. But yeah, it's very cool. It's very imaginative, and it's definitely a great watch. Evan Rachel Wood is awesome. She has a really great character arc, and yeah, I recommend it. There is definitely a lot of violence, especially in the first season. There's a lot of nudity, just because they, since the robots are considered to be like not humans, they are just, shown. It's like a naked Barbie almost. A lot.
Sure.
But yeah, very good. Check it out.
Okay, sounds good. And that is on HBO Max,
That is on
correct?
HBO Max.
Okay, sounds good. Well, that is our serious fare for the week. Now let's get into our Christmas fare. Yay. Christmas time is here. Alrighty, so in 2018, you might have come across a little movie on Netflix. One of their bigger original Christmas movies, I would say, just considering like the cast and everything, starring Kurt Russell, called The Christmas Chronicles. Yeah. And if you've been keeping up with The Christmas Chronicles, you may have noted that they just released The Christmas Chronicles 2 on Netflix. So we're about to talk about both of those movies.
I had never seen Christmas Chronicles. Jackson had watched it before, but we just double featured them last Friday.
Yes, we did. So let's do a few specs first. So, The Christmas Chronicles is a 2018 film directed by Clay Kaitis, written by Matt Lieberman and David Guggenheim, starring, of course, Kurt Russell, Darby Camp, Judah Lewis, and Kimberly Williams Paisley, wife of Brad Paisley, which I did not know. And Oliver Hudson is in there. And then I'll go ahead and say the specs for the second one. Sure. Second one is directed by Chris Columbus, who, if you don't know, not that Chris Columbus, but the Chris Columbus, who directed the first 2 Harry Potter movies.
Yay!
Yes, and then written by Matt Lieberman, Chris Columbus, and I believe also Guggenheim. Yes, Guggenheim as well. And then stars Kurt Russell, Goldie Hawn, Darby Camp, Julian Dennison, Jazir Bruno, and those are the main ones. Tyrese Gibson is also in this one with a small-ish part. And of course, Judah Lewis and Kimberly Williams Paisley return. Yes. So, let's talk about the first one first.
Yeah.
So, sort of a quick synopsis. The story of sister and brother, Kate and Teddy Pierce, whose Christmas Eve plan to catch Santa Claus on camera turns into an unexpected journey that most kids could only dream about. So yeah, basically they try to catch Santa on camera. It turns out they kind of mess up Santa's plans. They basically have to help him find his reindeer again, and then find his bag, and then restart his sleigh so that he can give presents to all the rest of the children that he needs to give presents to.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and then also the main girl, Kate, is like considered a true believer of Santa Claus. Mm-hmm. Comes from a long line of true believers, the Pierces.
Correct.
And her brother is a little older. They recently lost their dad. He's just kind of lost faith in the whole thing.
Yep.
So he is not so much a true believer. And he, I guess, is framed to be kind of like, quote unquote, going down the wrong path. He's been kind of stealing some cars.
He is shown stealing a car.
Yeah, she literally, like, records video of him stealing a car.
Literally, like, that is a...
Like, right at the beginning.
That is a high offense.
Yeah.
I just love how they start off so strong with that.
Like, it's not just like, oh, I steal a pack of gum from the gas station once in a while. It's like, I'm gonna steal a whole car.
Literally an entire, someone's vehicle, this man steals.
Well, it also seems like they've definitely done this before, and I'm like, how has he not gotten caught? What are they doing with these cars?
He definitely seems to know how to hotwire a car, which I thought was gonna come back later in the movie. It doesn't.
I mean, yeah, it didn't really. Him stealing cars comes back.
Yeah.
Because he like steals from a key from the valet and steals a car that was already stolen.
Yeah.
So,
but Santa helps him with that.
Santa does help him with that. Well, and then Santa's also like, you drive and blah blah blah. You know.
Well, yes. So we call these in our house colloquially known as the sexy Santa movies.
Yeah.
Because Kurt Russell is there is a scene in the first movie in particular where he goes to jail eventually. We won't tell you how. We won't spoil it. But he goes to jail, and there is a whole song and dance number in the jail, and he sings.
He basically is able to make any toy. He's able to produce like any toy just out of whatever. So he produces like a guitar, a bass, a drum set, bunch of microphones. These
bunch of costumes,
very like Mean Girls Jingle Bell Rock looking costumes for the women in the adjacent cell.
Yeah.
We don't know if he zapped them into those costumes or if he was like, go ahead and change right here in the open.
Front of me in this jail cell. But yes, so sexy Santa. Kurt Russell is good. He's pretty solid as Santa Claus.
Yeah.
I personally thought the first one, though they of course go on big adventures, though they of course rescue Santa's reindeer and his bag and his sleigh, I felt that this one was more, I don't know if intimate is the right word, just a more like, I don't know the word.
Well, it's more of like a family movie, I guess. It's about the relationship within the family as opposed to being like, let's save the North Pole, which is more of what the second one is about.
Yeah, exactly. And so we'll get into that one. Overall, I think I liked the first one better.
I think so too.
Once again, just because it was it was more of that, sort of family-oriented Christmas film, etc., etc. I liked that a lot. Goldie Hawn makes an appearance at the end as Mrs. Claus, but
she has a much bigger role in the second movie.
She does, yeah, she does. But yeah, overall I like the first one better, I think, though the second one was still good. They're both enjoyable watches. The second one follows Kate Pierce again. She is now a cynical teen. She's grown up presumably a year or two. At the beginning,
so you know she's a teenager now.
Yeah, exactly. And is unexpectedly reunited with Santa Claus when a mysterious troublemaker threatens to cancel Christmas forever. So essentially, what is their family's name? The Pierces. I'm sorry. The Pierce family
sees it through.
Is now spending the holidays in, is it Hawaii or the Bahamas?
I think it's Cancun, right?
Sure. They are now spending the holidays in Cancun. Their mom, Kimberly Williams Paisley, is now dating Tyrese, whose name is Bob in the movie.
Yeah.
Bob is great. Tyrese is great in this movie. And so Tyrese also has a son named Jack. And so Jack's a bit annoying to Kate, He
was the little kid who was in the new Witches movie.
Yes, he was. That. And he's good. He's good in this one.
Yeah.
And so basically, Kate wants to sort of run away. She wants to go back home, yada, yada. So she tries to take a shuttle to the airport, but the shuttle has been overtaken by a former Santa elf who is now disgraced, kind of like the Lucifer story, if you will.
Yeah, actually.
In a way, a fall from grace like Lucifer.
What was his name?
Belschnickel,
that's it.
Yes, which I think is based on actual lore. I want to say it's German, because remember Dwight in The Office, that one episode of The Office? He
said something about Belschnickel?
Well, he dressed up as Belschnickel.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So yeah, just interesting there. Played by Julian Dennison, who, if you don't know, he was the kid in Deadpool 2. He also, what was that other movie? Hunt for the Wilder People is one of those two movies you might know him from.
His face also looks incredibly like Rebel Wilson to me. I could not get that out of my head.
Which is interesting. I don't know if I totally agree with Lauren, but I guess I kind of see it. But yeah, so he starts off, backstory, he was an elf, he got disgraced and turned into a human, because I guess humans.
If you break like the elf code or whatever, if you do enough bad things, you turn into a human.
Yeah. So basically, he just wants to cancel Christmas forever. That one.
Well, he wants to like be the new Santa because I guess his big thing was like he wants credit for all the inventions that he made. He wants to be the one with the glory.
Yeah.
Instead of Santa.
Exactly. So the most of this movie takes place in the North Pole, in Santa's Christmas village, or Mrs. Claus' Christmas village, as it comes to be known. So yeah, they honestly feel very different. I guess kind of in a way that Santa Claus 1 and Santa Claus 2 feels different.
That's true.
Kind of similar in that regard, but still fun. This one I would say has a bit more fantastical elements to it. So if you like that, you might like this one more than the first.
A lot more elves, a lot more of the lore.
Yeah, exactly. The elves, one thing I will say, I think I like the amount the elves were used in the first film. They were more of an accent piece. I feel like they were relied on much more heavily in this one.
Yeah. Well,
maybe
I feel like
to the detriment.
I said this during the movie, but I kind of think they're comparable to the Minions in Despicable Me.
Yes.
Because I really enjoyed the Minions in Despicable Me 1 and 2. I've not seen the third metaphor. One. But I think it was too much Minions when they had their own movie.
Yeah.
So I think it's similar.
Yeah. So maybe a little too much elf in the second one, but if you love the elves, you get a lot of them.
Yeah.
We also
let's just talk about this real quick.
Okay.
So there's a part where Belschnickel basically puts Elf Bane in these cannons, shoots them everywhere, and makes the elves go crazy.
Yep.
Like they're just like kind of feral, they're
partying.
They're partying, exactly. It seems like they're actually having a pretty good time.
Okay.
And then at the end, they put the antidote to it, which is red. The Elfsbane was blue, into the cannons, make them all go back to normal, and they're immediately like, let's clean up before Santa gets back. We gotta serve Santa again. And I was like,
back to being submissive.
Kind of makes me think that maybe the Elfsbane was actually the antidote to whatever they were doing before. I don't know.
Interesting. You think there's
they're
a conspiracy.
Living their best lives.
Conspiracy, indentured servitude, if you will, with Santa.
But worse because they're being brainwashed. They are basically the Westworld hosts in this universe.
I guess kinda. That is an interesting thought. I don't know if that was the intention of Christmas Chronicles 2. However, I like where your head's at, Lauren. I do appreciate it.
Workers' rights.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. That's what this movie's really about. Christmas Chronicles 1, Christmas Chronicles 2, both on Netflix. Both can be watched right now. Sit down by the fire, by the TV, with your family, with a cup of hot cocoa, and enjoy this Christmas fare.
Yeah.
So, I think that's it for our detours.
I think that's
Unless you have anything else.
No,
okay.
I am good. So when we come back, we will be reading Want a Lemonade by our writer of the week, Divyansh Kulshrestha, or DK.
Yes.
For
Did
sure.
we mention that before, or was that the
first time? We did not.
time?
This is the first time.
All right, we're bad hosts. But you'll see us in a bit. Do the script, do the interview. It'll be great.
Bye-bye. Welcome back to the Green Light.
Green Light.
Yes.
Hey, in case you heard that third voice, hopefully you did. That was Will Leach back with us. Will, how are you doing?
You know what? How's anyone doing?
You know what? That is a good point.
Truthfully, I'm pretty good, though. I won't complain.
That's good.
Yeah.
Will and I both sort of finished our work days at around the same time today.
Thank God.
So now we are here, post-work, bringing you a little bit of art.
Yeah, and I'm trying to record a bunch of stuff before I start my new job at Joanne Fabrics.
Lauren's dream job.
It really is, though. Like, if we're being honest.
Between that and the American Girl store, those are both kind of my dream jobs.
Yeah.
So
this whole acting thing.
Living the dream.
Actor
Joanne
third.
second.
Actor third. But yes, what are we reading today, Lauren?
So today we are reading it's kind of a sketch. It's a pretty short comedy script called Want a Lemonade by Divyansh Kulshrestha, or he told us we could call him DK as well.
Yes.
And he is 15. We already did the interview. It's kind of crazy how young he is. I think he's our youngest person.
I believe he is our youngest person.
Yeah, because I know Jessie Run was kind of young too, but I think he had just finished high school.
Yeah. So you're going to hear that after you hear this.
Yeah.
But you're going to hear this first. So I will be reading stage directions. Jackson.
Action lines.
Jackson, will be reading action lines. Thank you, Lauren. And the part of Fat Old Man.
Yes. I am Lauren, as you hopefully know by now. I will be reading for Tina.
Hi, I'm Will, and today I'll be reading for Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm Paul.
I'm Paul.
Hi, I'm Paul. All right. Enough. Without further ado, let's jump in. Exterior Park, Day. Paul, 30s, runs at a brisk pace, his forehead and shirt drenched in perspiration. He slows to a stop at the edge of the park and checks his super fancy, exotic wristwatch.
Not bad. Huh.
Satisfied, Paul strolls into the park, catching his breath when...
Mister, you want a lemonade?
The voice takes him by shock. He turns to his side to see a small lemonade stand. A small handwritten banner says, Tina Lemonade Stand.
Sure thing, Tina.
A young blonde girl, Tina, looks at him with a smile. Paul walks over to the stand.
What's your name, sir?
Paul.
Tina writes in a register.
How much for one glass?
Tina looks up and scrutinizes Paul.
My mommy says $2, but I like you, so I'll charge $1.
You sure know how to bargain.
He hands out $1 bill. Tina takes it and puts it in a box. She pushes her chair back and disappears under the table. Re-emerging, she hands him a glass.
Here you go.
Paul accepts the glass and brings it near his mouth, only to find out that it is empty.
Tina, looks like you forgot something.
Tina shakes her head.
Costs extra.
Paul laughs amusedly. Tina joins in later. She bangs her hand on the table, laughing. Paul stops and looks around.
You serious?
Please, sir. I am just trying to be an entrepreneur.
Paul looks at her. Tina smiles.
Okay, here you go.
He takes out another dollar bill.
$2.
Okay.
He drops another dollar, which she collects. She takes out another glass, which Paul takes. This time, there is a lemon in it. Paul looks at the grisly, yellow, shining lemon.
Okay, stop joking now, Tina. I paid for the lemonade. Please give me my lemonade.
Oh, you wanted lemonade. That's going to be $25.
Paul's jaw drops in awe and his brow furrows.
Come again?
25.
What for?
Well, 8 for equipment, 10 for the labor.
For labor?
It's backbreaking. Plus the sun.
What the?
And 7 for tax.
That's not how tax works.
Tina just smiles innocently.
This isn't funny. Where are your parents, little girl?
$30.
I'm serious.
Me too.
Let me get my money back then.
Read the sign, Mr. Ball. No refunds.
She points to a placard that reads, No refunds.
Well, let me tell you, Missy, swindling people who are way more older than you is not a good habit. Now I want my money back.
Tina's smile disappears quickly. An angry face takes over.
And I want to kiss Shawn Mendes while we ride on a unicorn in Arendelle. Guess life's a little unfair.
Okay, I am done.
Paul reaches out for the box. Tina snatches it away.
Told you, Mr. Tall. No refunds.
Okay, kid. First of all, it's Paul.
He slams his palm on the table and leans in close.
And secondly, I don't know who you think you are, but I'm going to find your parents and they aren't going to let you off.
Not my parents!
Her eyes start swelling with tears, but suddenly a wicked smile cuts across her face.
Take care of this first.
What?
Out of the blue, Tina lets out a blood-curdling scream. Paul winces and cowers as the shriek pierces his ears.
The hell are you up to?
Help! Help! Someone help me!
Paul winces again. A few eyes turn towards them.
Okay, stop it, Tina. Keep it down.
Tina stops and looks at him with a wild smile.
Okay then, $35.
I am sorry, okay? But I haven't got the money.
Guess you'll need someone you have to post bail.
She sucks in a lot of air and is about to shout.
No. Okay, take this.
Paul empties his wallet and keeps the money in front of her table.
Fine.
I want that watch too.
Paul looks with confusion.
It's worth hundreds. Are you...
Tina inhales.
Okay. Take this too. Whatever you want. Just don't put me in jail.
Are you fine, little girl? Paul turns around to see that a fat old man has come to check on them.
Yes, this man was just leaving.
I was.
Paul picks up his wallet, turns around, and silently walks away. He looks at his wrist for time, but there is no watch. He turns around.
Would you like a glass of lemonade?
The end.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Green Light.
Green light?
All right, we are here with our writer of the week of Want a Lemonade, Divyansh Kulshrestha. And
hello guys.
How are you doing, man?
Oh, awesome. Sunday, how can I be any better?
Yeah, true. So it's Sunday for you, it's Saturday for us. Why don't you tell everybody where you are right now?
Oh, so I'm in India, this city called Gurugram, which is near the capital. And it's winter, so I'm wearing a sweater and all. It's fine.
Nice.
Everything.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
It's getting close to winter here as well, but we are in Southern California, so it's pretty hot.
Yeah, it's like winter, you know, for us, like it was like 75, 80 degrees today at some points. So, you know, we wish we could be wearing sweaters, but you know, at night and in the mornings we got it. So it's all good there. So how about we jump right into it, man? Give us your writer origin story. How did you start writing?
I'm actually 15 years old. So when this pandemic started, so schools are closed out. So I started thinking of what I can do so as to find a co-curricular activity, apart from school. I'm kind of good at studies, but I think everybody needs that one activity apart from studies. And I didn't really have anything, so I was trying to find what I can do in this lockdown. I tried the piano, so I'm like moderately good at it, and tried chess. Chess is hard, but I still like chess. So, and then one day I saw this video on YouTube which said how to write a screenplay. It was I think 10 p.m. at that time. So I saved it to watch later. Opened it the next day and like, oh wow, I think I should try this. It was easy. So I thought it was easy, but it's still difficult. But I thought, this is fun. I should try doing this more. And then I think that was like 4, 5, 6 months ago. And now I'm just having fun with whatever I write. Comedy is mostly what I like to write, but it's fun. Reddit has been a good help for me. That I found a co-writer on Reddit. I think we guys also met on Reddit, from Reddit only. Yeah, so Reddit, I found my co-writer there. He's been helping me a lot in writing. What's his name? Jason Rogers. Yeah. So he's a very good guy. He helped me in writing. He taught me some of my first writing lessons, like show, don't tell, and all that. So he's been helping me. And apart from that, it's just fun. Writing is fun.
That's awesome, man. So a couple things I want to point out. Did you say you were 15?
Yeah.
Wow, that is really impressive. And especially also because you said you just started writing too. Truly, like, I just like really like the writing on this, and I'm surprised that it came from someone so young and so, relatively inexperienced.
You see the chart there?
Oh, yeah.
That's a periodic table which I have to learn.
I didn't even notice that, man.
It's a periodic table I have to learn. I think, I have an exam the day after tomorrow.
Wow.
Do you really? Well, hey, good luck on your exams. We all send you good luck from the green light. But congratulations, man. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So the script that you sent us, you kind of said it was in the comedy and then sketch genre.
Yeah.
So in a perfect world, if this could be presented anywhere, no pandemic, where would you like this to be presented? Do you imagine it as like a viral YouTube video? Do you want it to be on something like a sketch comedy show?
I think it does look something like SNL would produce, right?
Yeah.
But those are too big to dream. That's a little big of dreams for me. So anything, if it just comes to life, that's fun for me, right? Something I've written, it's coming to life. Anyhow it comes, like even if it's a YouTube viral video. I'm just happy to see someone bring my script to life. So I don't have any problem with that. It
really does have like almost an SNL vibe. Like I really could see this as like an SNL sketch or something like that. I think it would fit right in like that sort of style.
They might have to have one of their actors on their knees or something to be the 8-year-old girl.
I can almost see someone like Kate McKinnon doing it or something. Yeah. I think she would be great. Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be
Yeah. So you submitted one, a lemonade to us, which is the one that we're reading, and you also submitted a different like sort of 10-minute screenplay to us. What is your like favorite format to write in? Do you like more like sketch or sort of short film or
so I have also written features and stuff, but I think my favorite thing is comedy, sketches, because they're short. And the thing I've found in writing sketches is that I just have to think about premise and go berserk with it, whatever I can write. Comedy is like one of the most genres which have the least restrictions, so I can just go through it, whatever comes to my mind. The first draft has to be bad or whatever. I can always improve on it in the later drafts. So it's the first draft has to be. I have to go just think about the premise and just go berserk, whatever I can do with it. So I don't. I like writing sketches. Also, they're short, so they require less time to be invested in them.
Yeah, totally.
And
so would you say you're more of a person who just has an idea and starts writing, or do you like to outline first?
Okay, so for the long form writing, I've generally had more success. More completion rate with the outlines. I like to write with those outlines.
Mm-hmm.
But for sketches and all, I just try to go. Just think of the premise and just go. Like I had this idea right now of a dating app for monsters, right? So like a dating app for something people like Dracula and all. So I just thought of the premise. I thought that sounds funny. I just started it. I did not think much of it. So for sketches, I can go without the outline. You have to just go berserk with it, because that's where comedy comes from. You don't have to put restrictions on yourself.
Absolutely.
Sure.
I love that. I love just go berserk with it, man. Just go berserk with it.
So
you should try that.
Yeah.
So I have a bit of another process-oriented question for you. So this script is a clinic on rising stakes, tactics, and obstacles. Really just, it's very clear, it starts being, it's $2 for lemonade, I'll make it $1 for you. And then it just rises and rises and rises until he's about to go to jail. So
yes, exactly.
So what was your process with, how did you come up, okay, how is this going to escalate? What's the next thing Tina's going to do?
So like, as I said, when I first wrote it, it did not end as that cyclical thing, right? He ends up buying it. But as I said, the first draft has got to be bad, right? Because then only you can improve on the later draft. So in the later drafts, I'm like, let's make her more evil. And then the third, let's make her more evil than that. The third, like, why not make her satanic? Just be the most evil that you can be. So, it was just ideas that spontaneously started coming. So after I did that $2 thing, when it first increased and then second time, then I was like, okay, I can go, now that I've increased it twice, I think I can go 28 for 30, whatever. I think it was 35, whatever. I can just go, and then taxes came on the spot. So I wrote taxes, sounded good. And then, so it was mostly, it started coming in the later drafts, when I started getting an idea of like, this is how it's going to be how it's going to look like. So that's when the rising stakes came into my idea. And it's also because you have to also watch and learn, watching other sketches, reading other sketches, so how they raise their stakes, how the story slowly they come to an end. So I also watched and learned.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
For sure. I feel like with sketches, the key is starting with something kind of reasonable and realistic, and then getting to something that's completely ridiculous by the end, like you said.
So from what I have learned in my seeing sketches and all that, so there are two perspectives. There are usually two perspectives in normal sketch. One is the normal one, which we think about. One is the abnormal, or what you can call fake one. So it's just a clashing of those two ideas, right? And what the absurdity that comes out of it, that's a sketch. And I think the most problem that comes with sketches for me is to end it. So now I've started learning of how I can end it. One is like a meta ending, which ends like it's a haphazard ending for me mostly. And one is the cyclical one, which I've been started using in most of my things. And one is the fake commercial thing. So those end with a word from the founder, or a special offer. There's just things I've started learning. So that's what I implemented in Wonder Lemonade.
No, cool. That's really cool. And I think all this talk sort of leads into our next question pretty well. So let's talk just a little bit about Tina. What's her story? Would she get in trouble if her parents found out, or are they already in on it? What's the deal?
I haven't really thought that much about it. So I think some of Tina's character is from my little sister. She's 10 right now, and she's absolutely. She's cute, but she irritates me a lot, right? That's the thing with little siblings, right? They
of course.
Irritate the elder one. So what was I saying? Yeah. So you remember that line? And I want want to ride on a unicorn, kiss Shawn Mendes in Arendelle, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So her favorite animal is supposed to be unicorn. Her favorite film, one of her favorite films is supposed to be Frozen, and her favorite singer is Shawn Mendes. So right. So it's a little bit of what I thought it was her, and Paul could be me. But I mean, it's not entirely. She's not as satanic as Tina, but you could say that some of it started from seeing my sister. And regarding about her parents being in, I'm actually thinking about writing more sketches about Tina. So like I don't like in the second sketch I have been planning is that she scams another guy. This time she's like a psychic kind of thing. So she's like, do you want me to predict your future? She's like, okay. The guy's like, okay, you can predict me. She writes something and he's like, okay, give me $1. He gives him $1. Thanks. And she's like, what's my future? He's like, I just asked you if you want me to predict the future. If you want to know it, there's another more $1 for that. And that's kind of stuff. So I mean, I'm going to continue this more, add more situations in Tina, and if I keep having ideas, maybe even introduce her parents into the foray. I mean, that's a good idea.
Cool.
Absolutely. I think that reminds me again of like SNL and just like those famous recurring characters and things like that. I could see a future for Tina as well.
There you go. So you kind of talked about how you incorporated a cyclical ending into this. So it kind of looks like she's about to do the same thing to the fat old man who enters at the end, and probably every other man who tries to buy lemonade. So how long does she get away with this? Like, how many men does she trick?
Well, I think that's the ambiguity of the sketch, I think, right? I mean, I have not even, now that you say that, Tina sounds like more a 3D, a real character to me, now that you are, addressing her like this. So I think she can, she's so smart, I think she can get away with a whole afternoon, a whole day, she can get away with doing this, and then she'll set up shop at another park, at another mall, at another place, outside of some person's house. So like, I mean, she can get away with doing it a lot of. I actually had another idea which was like it's a couple. She scams a couple. Those couples are, and how that would end is that that guy had planned on giving a ring to the woman, to his girlfriend, at the later. So, but Tina actually scams him and gets that ring from him. So I mean,
nice.
She's going to be full on evil. That's sure.
Yeah. Well, see, I feel like Tina's smart enough that if she thought she was gonna get found out, like you said, she would either pack up shop and move somewhere else, or she'd just find a whole new scheme.
Yeah.
To get herself involved in.
I feel like the thing I'd be worried about as Tina is that all of these guys in the park would start talking to each other and be like, did she do that to you? She did that to me. And they just start revolting.
Yeah. A revolt in the park. That'll be the sequel. Great.
Yeah.
So that's the script. Now we're gonna ask some questions about you. So it's funny because we worded this question: if you could go back to being a kid, at this point, I guess you'd only have to think about like 5 or 6 years back. But do you think you would try something like this, or did you try something like
this? No. I mean, I think this kind of the lemonade shop, children opening lemonade shop, that's more common in US, right? Here, I have not seen that happen much, kids volunteering and doing stuff. So, but I would like to try it out. I think, we have done this, this festival, Diwali. It's an Indian festival. Mm-hmm. So, whenever we have the festival, a week before that, in our society, we have stuff like a fair. There are food shops and there are, it's just a whole function and things. So, just to, me and my friends, we put up game stalls, and we have this one game which has got a lot of popularity among our friends. That's called Lucky 7, which is basically gambling in its most basic form. So I think, that's my only experience at what Tina does. And I mean, Lucky 7 is also a big gamble now that you think of it. Have you guys played Lucky 7 ever?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so I'll teach you. It's very basic game. I mean, we have earned a lot of money from that, whenever we put up that stall. What it is like you have to choose between 3 options first. Above 7, below 7, Lucky 7, right? You get 2 dice. right? And suppose you're choosing above 7, right? So we put up we have to put up a bet of 10 rupees, right? That's the minimum that we put. You put up a 10 rupees, and you chose above 7. So you have to roll the die, and you have to get the combination, the sum of those number on the die should be above 7, and we'll double your money. If it doesn't come, we'll take that money, we win the bet, right? And if you choose lucky 7, the sum of the numbers in the die should be 7 exact, so you get triple your money. So I mean, you can, and people think that it's like, yeah, I'm gonna win that. It's so easy, like, I could just above, but you don't know that it's a scam. It's a scam. It's a real scam. We get a lot of money out of it.
Yeah, the house always wins, man. That really is like gambling in its purest form. But I can also see how it's super appealing to people. I don't know. I feel like I could get stuck in something like that.
I feel like you would.
How dare you? Did you ever have a lemonade? Oh, go ahead.
I have to tell you, a lot of adults think like, yeah, I'm gonna win this. I'm going to put $20. $10 is the limited. The lower cap. I'm going to put $50 on this. I'm going to put 50. I'm going to win like that, and then I lose. Okay, I'll go try another chance, and then we're just like getting money as well. It's so easy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Did you ever have a lemonade stand, Lauren?
No, I did not. My family would do a yard sale once in a while, and my dad just worked in sales for a really long time, so every time we had a yard sale, he was always out there trying to negotiate with everyone. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, I can see your dad doing that for sure.
Cool. Okay, so we talked about how you're in India, which is super cool. We're in the US, so anytime we interview someone who's in a different country, it's always really exciting for us. So
yeah.
How is everything there? Like, how has the pandemic been handled? Are you guys doing okay?
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, in my area only, I think like in a 10, 20 meter radius, there were like 8 cases last week, right? And there were 2 deaths also, I think, last week. So it's really high. We guys are staying inside our houses. And I think in August something, we almost cracked up 1 lakh cases, right? 100,000 cases, but it's currently coming down. But I think like even you guys had the second wave, so we'll also have the second wave most probably. I mean, there are talks of the vaccine, but hopefully, let's see. How's it in California right now?
It's been going back up again, like you said. We're kind of in the third wave right now, but I think they just keep trying to open things too early, and then it gets worse, and they have to close again.
I think that's what the memes have taught me, right? I mean,
yeah,
exactly.
I've learned a lot from this meme, that people are not wearing masks and stuff. Yeah, I mean, here even the small kids, like who are my sister's age, they also play on without masks and without masks, and so it's very concerning and all. Once what happened here was I saw this one guy. I was going to get something from the shop, a small shop outside. I think I was going outside to get milk, and I passed that guy, and he kind of sneezed. I mean, I was away from him. He had a mask. He took it a little down and sneezed, and I was like, "Whoa, he sneezed." Okay. Yeah. Then I came back, and next day I found out that that guy had tested positive. And I was like, "Oh shit! What if I also?" I mean, but luckily I did not. But it was. I mean, it's really.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Whenever after that, I mean, even if you sneeze right now, I'm gonna get PTSD of that time.
Exactly. Exactly, man. Yeah, for sure. So moving on a little bit from COVID to something a little lighter, I guess. So obviously India has a pretty big film industry with like Bollywood and everything. Do you see yourself your writing career headed towards that film industry, or do you plan to work like at different places around the world? What's sort of your goal?
So in Bollywood, I think there's more of nepotism and stuff. I mean, Hollywood exactly has that, but here it's 10 times worse, right? If you see the current batch of actors, right, 95% are sons and daughters of ex-actors, directors, and stuff. So I mean, and even here, there's no such thing of agents who represent you. I mean, you have to do most of your bidding and stuff, and so it's a difficult industry. And I think a little young for that, but I think I will like to try entering in a contest, Hollywood screenplay contest and stuff, and hopefully get an. I think we even sent a screenplay to an agent who said they'll read it. I mean, we have not gotten a response back from any me and my co-writer yet, but we are fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so interesting about how you said, there aren't really agents over there. I think that's because, over here, in order to get anything really serious,
you have to have an agent.
You have to have an agent. Yeah, so it's just so interesting how the two dynamics are very different.
Yeah, I mean here, moving to one of the things that's common is you have to move to LA to be part of the industry there. So here, if you want to break into the industry, you have to move to Mumbai. That's one of the prerequisites which is mostly required. But after that, it's all on you. You have to do your own bidding, and you are on yourself. While the agents there, it's a better system there. Contacts are a thing, but agent system is better there.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
So we only have one more question for you, and I think it's the most important one of all.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Lemonade or fruit punch?
Which is your favorite?
I got to go to lemonade. I really like that. I really like lemonades, lemon soda and stuff. So I mostly drink those whenever we go outside in restaurants and stuff. So I like lemonade.
Cool.
Well, I think that's a good choice. I think that's a good choice.
I think fruit punch it's a little too sweet for me most of the time.
Sure. Yeah. I always used to get, when I was a kid in restaurants, I would get lemonade every time I could.
Exactly.
So lemonade's the way to go. All right, you passed the test. Good job.
Awesome. Yeah.
But, that is all we have, I think.
Yeah.
Do you have anything coming up in your life that you'd like to plug? Any projects or anything?
Besides your big exam coming up.
Yeah, exactly.
Exam. So I'm writing another kids show pilot right now, which is about a small, a teenager who is like, not exactly a teenager, a middle school kid who is like a detective of sorts. But he's not solving mysteries, and he's solving things like a ring is lost, a medal is lost, this or that. He's solving mysteries like that, and he's also new at his school, right? He's new at the school, so he has to juggling with the friendships and being accepted in this new school and stuff like that. So it's all going great. Yeah.
Well, good luck with that. Good luck with your exam. I think that's all for us, right, Lauren?
Yeah, I think that's all for us.
Yeah.
So you... Oh, sorry?
So yeah, should I ask you a question now? Yeah.
Do you have a question for us?
Well, you guys are actors, right? So it's basically for this question I asking some actors if I know. Shall I ask you?
Please.
Sure.
Go ahead, ask us a question, yeah.
What I always look for, what I always want to ask is, when you see a script, that has been offered to you, what do you guys look in a role? Is it like the dialogue of the role, the character arc, or do you look into that if there is a part of you in that role, if there is something that, if the character has something that belongs to you and something like that, or what do you look in a role?
That's a really good question.
I feel like the first thing I look at is always the dialogue. Because I feel like the dialogue has to be natural first. I feel like that's the number one thing. I want to feel comfortable and normal saying it, I guess. But I don't know. After that is probably the character arc. And then it's really just a cherry on top if, the character is similar to me. That just makes it easy, I guess.
Yeah, I would agree with Lauren, especially at the beginning. Like, I think the dialogue has to grip me, and then I'm like, okay, let's sort of explore from here. I think it is really helpful to have a part of yourself, or to see yourself at least in that character. And I think as an actor, sort of your job is to do that, is to find that part of you in the character. And if it's very obvious, that's great. If it's not, that's sort of part of your job. But I think ease of dialogue comes first, and then the rest of the stuff, while the rest of the stuff is probably more important, comes a little bit after that. So yeah, that's a good question, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. And this is another question. It's just very informal. Who's your favorite director, if you have any?
Yeah?
Favorite character?
Favorite director.
Favorite director.
I'll go first if you want. My favorite director is Christopher Nolan and Quentin Tarantino. So I've watched a lot of their films. I really like those.
To be honest,
so basically,
I think you stole Christopher Nolan from me. I think that's probably my favorite.
How dare you both steal Christopher Nolan from me?
Okay, so let's keep one common, and then you guys can come up with another.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of some other directors that I enjoy.
I mean, we actually just rewatched a couple of the earlier Harry Potter movies, which are directed by Chris Columbus.
Yeah.
And so I really like him too. He's just really great at creating that magical world.
Scorsese fans.
Oh yeah, I do like Scorsese. Yeah, for sure, absolutely. I like Fincher too. Fincher is great.
Fincher, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mindhunter. I think it got cancelled, right? Mindhunter.
Yeah, I think so. I think I heard that, but yeah.
This is very
But
yeah,
have you seen
Tenet? You guys got to see Tenet?
No, we have not.
I haven't seen Tenet yet.
Yeah,
me too. I think in my place it just released this Friday, like 2 days ago, right? But we cannot really see. I mean, I don't want to really go and see and risk my life for Tenet. So.
Yeah,
exactly. It's like I'll wait for it to go on a streaming service or something instead of
that's sort of where we're at right now too.
Have you? I think probably my favorite Christopher Nolan movie is The Prestige.
Prestige, of course, I've seen all of those.
Okay. Yeah, that's my favorite.
There's just 10. Yeah, Prestige is great. I really like that how it ended. No spoilers, but there's 2 of them.
Yeah.
I like how it. Yeah. I'm more of a DC fan also, so I like Dark Knight. That's my favorite, if you say.
Oh
so,
you and Jackson get along then.
Yeah, Dark Knight is one of my favorites for sure. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, if any of you have questions for DK, if you're wanting to pick his brain about anything like that, or if you want to produce his script, we will put his email in our description.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before I go, I would also like to say there's this community on Reddit. There's a writing prompts community. Those guys have helped me a lot. They are a bunch of writers who get together on Discord, and there's a whole server. The guys write. They give each other feedback, and they're fun people, and also the art screenwriting people. There's a lot of professionals there. They've also given a lot of good advice to me, and I've also read a lot of their good advice on other threads. So there are people who have podcasts, there are people who outline how their journey started and almost ended, and they still try to come back up. There are people who outlined, how they write, the professional people I'm saying, and how they broke in and how they landed an option agreement and stuff. So I really like to thank to those people also. And the writing prompts community. So yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
We would like to thank our screenwriting too, because so many of our awesome scripts have come from people on there, including yours.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's gonna be all for us. Thanks so much again for coming on, man. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks for giving me this opportunity. I think support is one of the things artists thrives on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is so thanks for that support and motivation.
Yeah,
absolutely, man.
Sure.
Thanks for that.
Absolutely. All right, thanks so much. Bye.
All right, have a great Sunday.
Bye.